Hey guys, or should I say good morning? As you can tell, it's fairly early. I just dropped off the kids and I'm heading back home to do some writing. And I got to thinking, I know in the chapter I'm about to write, I'm going to need a pet peeve for someone in the story, the main character. It's gonna come up in the conversation, and but I don't know what it should be. So I was hoping to get your inputs. Something funny and unique. If you have one, then please share it with me. And the only ones I could think of, like off the cuff, they don't work because they are actually kind of, as a Dane, it's peeves I have against, the English American way of saying stuff. So that wouldn't work because this story takes place in the US and it's an American main character and all that. So obviously that wouldn't work. But I figured I would just share them with you because they crop up fairly often as I'm writing. And the first one is very simple. It's the AM PM versus 24-hour thing. I really wish we could just ditch that AM PM stuff. I think I've learned it now, but I'm still in doubt when it's around 11, 12 or 1 o'clock. I'm still like, are we talking about noon or very late at night? That's just very confusing to me. Oh, and also, by the way, the word night just reminded me, like we in Danish we have evening and night. And night is only night. It's when it's pitch black and people are sleeping. I feel like you guys use night also as as evening. Sometimes they get mixed up. At least I get confused. Maybe it's just me. So I guess that's kind of two peeves in one. But the 24-hour thing, I get it. Like those round things, those old school clocks, they don't have room for 24 digits. I realize that it would be messy. But we have digital now, It's just a lot easier to say 14, but when you mean 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 p.m. I guess. I always have to do that conversion thing in my head when I'm mentioning any time of day in my writing. So I promise you 24 hours is easier. And by the way, we say 3 o'clock. And we mean, people know we mean in the afternoon and not in the middle of the night when we say we're going to meet someone at 3 o'clock or whatever. So it's only when we write, we just write 15. It's, yeah. Okay, so the next one, it's related to, I guess, and it's a big one. It entails a lot of things, and it's the metric system. And I'm sure it's kind of a sore spot, and you hate me for bringing it up. I assume Americans get a lot of heat for it. I saw a meme the other day that kind of just hit home completely. It's like two construction workers talking, and in the first frame, one of them says, when you're converting from, I think it's from feet to miles, you just need to remember 5 tomatoes, 5280, and I'm just like, holy hell, who's gonna remember that? And then the next frame of the meme is, well, in order to convert from meters to kilometers, you just have to add 3 zeros or something, because our system wasn't invented by a drunk kid. I think it says. It made me laugh. I'm sorry. It's just I just feel like cups and feet. It's just so old school. And to me, a cup can be this, and it can be like one of these things. So I'm just like, a cup, that how much is it? When I'm cooking, I have no idea what size cup do I use. And then I asked someone who was someone who lived in the States, I think, and they said, they told me, well, all our measures, they have exact measures on the metric scale. So like a cup, I think it was something like 2.3 whatever deciliters, and I was just like, oh, okay, so if you so why wouldn't you just round it down to 200 milliliters? That would just be such a clean number. and we just agree that a cup is 200 milliliters. But yeah, I guess it's to do with history and all that, so it's not easily moved. I get that, but there's a lot of like height. Whenever I have to describe a person's height in a story, I have to go and convert it, and that, you know, 5 foot whatever, 3, 5'8", what I just and you use those, you know, quotes for the feet. I just find it really confusing. Like, let me just try and sell you the metric system here. It's just so easy. Like, my height is 187. It's just 187 centimeters. Or we could say 1 meter 87 centimeters. Or 1.87. It's just so clean, so easily comparable. And I have to say it's more precise, because a centimeter is less, it's about this, and an inch is about this, I guess. So we don't have to do half inches, which is kind of vague also. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking before you hate me too much. And this last peeve, oh, before I do that, I'm gonna extend an olive branch here, and I'm gonna share a peeve that I assume you guys have with our system. I would assume, at least. And the thing is, you know, it's flaws in buildings, because we, you know, in Danish we have the ground floor, which is the lowest floor. I'm not talking about the basement, the ground floor, and then we have the first floor and second floor and so on. And that always confused me. Like, why would you call it the first floor when it's really the second floor? So the ground level is, so that's level 0, I guess, but no one says that. That confused me as a kid. And then I learned in English that you guys do it right, I feel. You have, you know, the first floor, which I guess you also sometimes call ground level, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you do. And then the second floor is the, you know, so I feel like that's more right, and when I write, that comes easily and to me, so props on that. Okay, so the last one, I think particularly the men will be annoyed with this one. I'm sorry, I have to bring it up. It's football. You know, we have football. We use our feet primarily. We are not allowed to touch the ball with our hands unless we're doing a throw-in. And we pretty much only kick the ball. And then you guys, you have football, your version of it, where, as far as I can tell, granted, I don't think I've ever watched a game through and through, but there's very little kicking going on compared to, you know, picking it up and running with it under your arm, which would be an immediate penalty in our football. And so, but okay, so be that as it may, it's a name that's a bit insulting, quite frankly, because so we were, okay, so we have football, which is, it feels natural to call it football, and then you guys have this thing that you also call football, and so we're like, okay, since you insist on calling it football, we can't really see why, but since you insist, we're gonna name it American football for your sake. And then the other way around, you know, you guys, you kept football the name for your sport, but then you called our soccer, and that's just not a very flattering word, you know. Couldn't you have gone with, I don't know, European football or South American football or international football? You know, it's just I don't know, I don't know what to say. Okay, before I lose any more of you guys, I'm going to end, and please share your pet peeves. It can be anything, don't hold back. It can be, I don't know, funny, it can be, if it's mean, or, you know, anything like that, punching down on someone, I'm probably not going to use it, but I think we all agree that most pet peeves are funny because we know they're kind of irrational and we don't really mean them. It's just something that whenever we encounter it in our everyday life, we kind of feel tiny bit of annoyance, and then we forget about it again. So please share it, and if I'm gonna pick the one that's most fitting for the story, and I'm gonna use it in there. So this is a chance to get your own personal grievances out into the world and read by thousands of people. Okay, I'll see you guys. Thanks. Bye.